Grumpy is my favorite character in Snow White. Now, I'm sure he's the favorite character in Snow White for many people, but for me, it's because of this one little character moment of his at the very end of the film. In this scene, where he mourns the supposed death of Snow White. I wanted to talk about this moment a little bit and share my thoughts on it. Grumpy is pretty much the only character in Snow White that has a character arc. Not even Snow White herself has one. Sure, she's bubbly and sweet and charming, but she's the same at the start and end of the film. Now Grumpy, when he first sees Snow White, is already making assumptions about her, and not good ones. But one of my favorite things about this film is watching the way he slowly softens up to Snow White. This scene, where it seems like he's reluctant about receiving a kiss on his way to work, is so charming and heartwarming. It's our first inclination that he actually likes her. That brings us to the climax of the film, when the dwarves discover the wicked queen at their home. Grumpy is the one that rallies the dwarves to chase her down. Now, we don't see when the dwarves find Snow White. The film jumps straight to them mourning her in their home. However, one thing I've thought about and wanted to point out is from this scene, where Snow White meets the queen in her hag form. At the time, she was making Grumpy a pie, because she cared for him and wanted to show him that. I have to imagine that Grumpy would have found this pie and realized how much Snow White truly cared for him and his fellow dwarves. But that's getting into theorizing territory. So that brings us to this scene. This moment, this one brief moment when Grumpy begins to weep for the girl that was finally able to soften his curmudgeon's heart. You can see the realization in his eyes. It only hits him after Snow White is gone, and that is what makes it all the more painful to watch. This, to me, is the culmination of Grumpy's character arc. This scene absolutely guts me every time I see it, and brings tears to my eyes. Judge me if you want, but this is the perfect example of how emotionally affecting great character development can be. It makes this scene all the more satisfying, when we see Grumpy join in with the other dwarves in their unrestrained jubilation over Snow White waking up. Kudos to this movie for creating such lovable and memorable characters, especially ones that can be loved over 80 years later. Sure, people love Grumpy because of his attitude and sarcasm, and believe me, he never fails to get many laughs out of me. But what really sticks with me is his transformation, and I hope that you've come to appreciate the way he develops in the film if you don't already. This has been Little Character Moments. I definitely want to do more videos like this where we look into these small, maybe very missable moments in films like this, because it definitely makes appreciating these characters that much sweeter. So if you can give a like and a subscription, that would be much appreciated, and thank you for watching Filmogrifier.